As we'll take a look at the records, collegiate record held by Arkansas. Only the Soviet Union, the United States, and East Germany have run faster than that collegiate record run last year by the Arkansas Razorbacks, and they're also the collegiate leaders this year in this event. There is the lineup for Georgia. They will start in lane 7. Dejanay Oakley, who was second in the open 400, will start it off, and the 400-meter champion and Olympic gold medalist in the 4x400 from last year, Aaliyah Butler, will anchor for the Dogs.
And sticks there, the freshman from Oklahoma over the 400-meter hurdles, Michelle Smith. She will run that second leg, and Sydney Harris in there. There you see Texas A&M, Cameron Dixon, Jasmine Montgomery. Busy weekend for those two, as we saw them in the 100 meters, the 200 meters, 4x1, and now in the 4x4 as well.
Southern California also in this 4x400 final. South Carolina is a scratch out of this race, largely because I think Jamisha Ford couldn't go. A little bit of a problem after she crossed the finish line victorious in the 200 meters.
For USC there, that first leg is going to be Yemi Mary John for the Lady Trojans. The junior, also a Paris Olympian. They'll go Jasani Carter, Takai Sensi, and then Madison White, who just had a phenomenal meet here at these championships, will anchor for the Lady Trojans.
So lane 5 is open. South Carolina scratching. From the inside, UCLA, Miami, Iowa, then Duke, an open lane, then Arkansas, then Georgia, USC, and Texas A&M on the outside. 3 turns staggered. These leadoff runners will stay in their lanes all the way. When they hand off, the outgoing runner will stay in their lane through the full turn and then break for the pole on the backstretch.
Well, Arkansas just continues to load up with 400-meter runner. Scenario Butler goes for Arkansas. She'll hand to Kayla Davis, the junior. Interesting, though, that lane 5, when that's empty, boy, that just opens up all kinds of space on that back straight. There is Dejanay Oakley running extremely well for the Bulldogs.
Georgia can really just hammer the entire field of teams by winning this 4x400 relay. They hand off first, followed by USC. And USC going out very slowly. Jasani Carter not really moving it at all. For Georgia, that is Michelle Smith, who scored for the Dogs in the 400-meter hurdles. Arkansas, that is Kayla Davis. Duke is now into 3rd place. That is Lauren Tolbert on second leg duty.
Tolbert fresh off that 800 just a bit ago.
And now USC's Jasani Carter gets things going. She went out very, very slowly, but is finishing strong for the women of Troy, pushing up into 4th place and challenging for 3rd. But it's going to be Georgia who will pass first, followed by Duke, then Arkansas, and then USC. For Georgia, that is Sydney Harris. For Duke, Aaliyah Garazzo. For Arkansas, Sanu Jalo. And for USC, Takia Sensi.
And I have to apologize. I said Michelle Smith was second in the 400-meter hurdles, but Kayla Garrett from Texas was second. Michelle Smith from Georgia was 3rd.
Still very close with Georgia in the lead. Now Arkansas into 2nd ahead of Duke, challenging for the lead. Sanu Jalo running a great leg for the Razorbacks, puts her team into the lead. They are the leaders in the country this year amongst collegians. Arkansas passes first, followed closely by Georgia, Duke, and USC.
Well, Rosie Effiong goes for the Razorbacks, followed closely by Aaliyah Butler. And you know the Georgia Bulldogs, they just want to put this thing away in style. And a win in the 4x400 meters would would leave no doubt.
A great rivalry and a great one-on-one. Rosie Effiong and Aaliyah Butler. And here comes Butler making that move with about 125 meters to go. She swings wide, and she's just turning over faster than Rosie Effiong. Aaliyah Butler and Georgia putting a stamp on it with a win in the final event. The first time that Georgia has won the 4x400 relay, and they will be scoring over 70 points to just run away with the team title. 48-8 anchor for Aaliyah Butler.
And that'll be the fastest time in the country this year.
It's 49-2 for Rosie Effiong of Arkansas. No slouch, but she just could not hold off the 400-meter champion Aaliyah Butler and the Georgia Bulldogs. Well, there was no faltering by Georgia this entire day. Here's the final exchange. Arkansas got the stick first.
And maybe one of the most successful runners that the University of Arkansas has ever had in Rosie Effiong. And she's done so much for the program. But I'll tell you, in the 400 meters, you don't shift gears very often unless you have just next level talent and ability. And look at Aaliyah Butler. She just decides to make a move with about 60 meters to go and flies by Rosie Effiong and leaves absolutely no doubt who the national champions are this year. Not only the 4x4, but the team.
Georgia wins the team title by 26 points over USC, who finished second, and Texas A&M finishing third, 4 points behind the Trojans. There are the final results on the women's 4x4. That is a collegiate leading time by Georgia. USC ended up third in that 4x400 relay.